Resident Evil 5.
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again. This is my Resident Evil 5 professional video walkthrough. This is chapter 6.3, it is the bridge deck, and I imagine that this is the video that you were all waiting for, because you get to see Wesker get his face kicked in, and all those amazing cutscenes where he pronounces Chris's name in that ridiculous Chris, what he keeps saying in his atrociously sequined suit and his ridiculous Matrix Neo bullshit, which came out of nowhere, but I suppose they're extending the whole notion of, in Code Veronica, was it X? Where he was running on walls and his eyes were glowing red, and he essentially just turned into some kind of crazy ninja warrior kung fu dude. And I never minded that, I really didn't. But in this game, it just gets a bit nuts. And I appreciate they're trying to make out he's taking those injections of Ouroboros crass, or whatever he wants to say all the time. But still, there's a time and a place, and it's called college. But right here, you'll notice I used some mines that we had left over from the last time we used mines. And I popped one just there, at the right-hand side of this area, and I dropped one just at my feet. I did this because there was somebody who I couldn't find throwing a miracle grenade almost every time, and it hit me about 10 times. Not even kidding. This dude, wherever he was, I assumed he was on the balcony, but I wasn't sure, kept chucking grenades at me, and I never heard them. There was never a tink, tink, tink. There was just death. And you'll see a bunch of them in my fail video, but you'll also see a bunch that aren't there because the moment they hit me, I started and restarted because I was getting fucked off. This was the area that took me the longest to record out of all the fights, except for the bullshit ones, like the arrows with Joshua in that particular bit, the oil refinery because of the corner that I couldn't get past and Sheva kept failing. Outside of those moments, this took the longest because I could not stop getting blown up by a random grenade. So you'll notice I'm standing here. I'm stood here because when I stood in that other square to my right, I kept getting blown up. And on my first attempt at this, I did it all the way up to the bit where the door opens and the people with the guns turn up, and then they shot me from off screen because I didn't realise that was the phase we were on. So if I'd have realised that the doors were opening and there was no more dudes from this side, I would have done this sequence the first attempt. But because I fucked up, it took like 20. Look, there's another bomb, but luckily enough it didn't do shit because Sheva's a magician and it just kind of didn't work. But whoever it is throwing those grenades doesn't set off those mines that I set up, which the mines don't end up working. Here's a nice bit of bullshit with a LaPlaya fucking chain stabbing her. Get out my face, son. Denied. And it's just a case of there's a lot of enemies, there's a lot of grenades, there's a lot of guns, the cover's terrible, the cover system is worse, and the checkpoint is non-existent. So you have a very intensive sequence of events, and they expect you to just chin down and get on with it. So that's what we're doing. And basically, the only threat here is getting rushed by people doing the running instant swipe with the stun rod, and whoever is that's throwing grenades, which I think is that dickhead, who, the dude's got a great arm on him, but this particular recording, he didn't do the things he was doing before. But if I were to tell you that he was making me mad, would be an understatement, because I was furious. And the funny part is, you know, as soon as we get to the next sequence where we jump across the gap or whatever it is and we go through the doors that opened, I never failed once there, and I think that bit's harder than this bit, but for whatever reason, those fucking holy hand grenades that kept finding me, hallelujah, boom, like, really annoying, really frustrating. So my tip to you is be very, very alert here, and if you can see the dude chucking those grenades, kill him first, because he's just a cunt. There's no two words about it. And then when you come over here, put yourself between cover, because over there is going to be a lot of dudes. Lots and lots and dudes. Lots and dudes. There you go. English language, guys. We're making it up. My strategy is simple. I have a rifle with a scope. These people don't have the greatest vision, so I'm going to kill them before they get close. The only part of this that's even remotely tense and scary is the fact that when you cross over the boundary into that next room, enemies are going to be coming from the left and the right with all kinds of different guns, and you don't seem to have got a checkpoint. So all of this is on the same checkpoint, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but it looks worse than it is, I think. Because there's dudes with rocket launchers, there's dudes with all sorts. But they run all over the place before they come into a position to attack you. So it seems like if they were to pathfind and get to the player quicker, it'd be a nightmare. But they never do. So they seem to spend more time going up and down ladders and getting into positions where they can move towards you and running into very specific places so that they can start aiming, that you can kill them all before they've got there, or kill them as they stop. And it makes a section that could have been much worse very manageable. I'm trying to exploit the perspective here to hit the guy on the left, but I can't quite see him. I'm being very tentative, but it's for good reason, guys. No checkpoint generally means you want to play safe. Because there's nothing worse than having to do a pretty extensive sequence of events and then making a silly mistake and having to replay it, because you always get frustrated and you always try and rush. The only reason I'm using the shotgun here is because I need to hit him regardless. Doesn't matter what I use as long as he does not shoot me. And then Sheva came in and was clutch, hitting him with the bow. But we jump across here, there's a guy just there, and I'm lucky he taunted, because if he'd have shot me, there wasn't much I would have been able to do, because he had me dead to rights. But he decided to do his little, here's my mouth labias, this is my beautiful smile, eat me bitch kind of thing. And then these guys drop down, but you notice how they're doing commando rolls and stuff, and they're looking in the wrong direction, and they love mantling too. They have this philia for climbing over waist-high objects, and whenever they do that, it's the same animation every time, and you can knock them out of it. But guy on my right, you see him? And a couple more, all of them with guns. Guy just fired a rocket, no idea where that dude is. But from this piece of cover, Sheva is covering the people in front, and I'm just waiting for the guys on the side. And because they're too busy running around and getting in position, they're not shooting me. So it makes this a lot more manageable than it could have been. Like, Sheva's not doing the best job here, but it doesn't matter. All we need is suppression, and she's doing a great job of that. So I put him down, I stay where I am, and then I just check my periphery, see if I can find the next threat. There's the guy with the rocket launcher. I'm going to shoot him in the toe, just to interrupt him so he doesn't fire, and then I'm going to try and kill him. And I think he's dead. She's shooting at some dude over there. He's going to get on the platform, but if he gets onto the platform from that direction, it means he's going to try and come towards us, which involves climbing over his favourite fence. Or going into cover, which is Kane and Lynch cover, which never blocks bullets if you've ever played Kane and Lynch 1. More guys on the balcony dropping in. They have to land, recover before they can move, so use it to headshot them and take them out. And if they climb over those fences, introduce them to the whole Winder technique of be gone you beast, get back you bitch. And at the moment it's a little calm before the future storm, but there's still people, so be very careful. See him? For whatever reason he stood over there and he's not in place. The moment I moved, it triggered him to motivate, and now he's gone somewhere which I don't know. So this is when it's a little more tense, because we've got a dude with a gun and we cannot see him. But can you remember when I said that they will spend more time running around getting into position than they will attacking you? He's only just got onto the plane that we're on, and he's gonna, you guessed it, climb over the wall and fail, because Sheva killed him with the bow. But be very, very, very cautious here. All it takes is one stray around, and it's all done. And you start back on that balcony before I'd even laid those mines. Here's a dude randomly climbing a ladder, no idea why. And it's really quiet at this point, but there's still more people, so I'm always very, very reluctant to go too far forward before pushing back into a safe spot. Because all I need to do is to continue this pace, and we're good. And this is a tense section, and to get through it without ever really being attacked is definitely what you want to try to achieve. Because if you can do that, you're laughing, aren't you? And I think we've done it, you know, I think this is it. Because all you have to do is push those levers, and when you pull these levers, there's a checkpoint. You want to go to the shop and buy a rocket launcher, or you want to go to the marshlands and pick one up, because we're going to kill both of the Mr. T's with the rockets. But before we do that, we have to kill 2 Reapers. So the first Reaper immediately rushes you, so stun him again, stun him a 3rd time, and then introduce him to Arnold Schwarzenegger and his Terminator quotes. So if you watch there, that took 2 shells, didn't it, on his torso thing? This one takes 3, so the spread must be random or something, because 1, 2, still going. I was really worried then when that took 3 shells, because I thought he was going to do the swipes, but he didn't. So both the Reapers are dead. We didn't need to do anything too strenuous. We just used their weak spot and dominated them. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to pre-aim on the spot between those 2 greats that are going to elevate and introduce Mr. Keycard, and Mr. Keycard's the best friend. Takes a while though if you're quick here, so you've got to really wait for this. But the moment the cutscene plays, you want to press the trigger, because when you come back into the game, boom, you can kill both of them, jump across the gap, and you don't have to kill a single man genie, because there will not be any, because you'll already be at the door. But it's very tense waiting for this, because I always think I'm going to miss. I do not trust these rocket launchers at all. But that was a noise. Anything? Bloody hell, it is long, isn't it? Tense! There we go. So as soon as that's done, boom! Between them, jump across, and then pick up those key cards. So that is a section that is incredibly difficult, that I showed you a rather defensive beginning and a rather aggressive ender, and you can get through it without incident, which, whenever you can get through an area without incident, it's a good day. So, get ready for the Wesker boss fight, guys. My strategy for Wesker. I try to isolate him as best I can, and then when he's got his back to me, whenever she shoots him, I shoot him. When he's in a stunned animation, that's when you want to shoot him. Whenever he does an animation that involves dashing or doing the counter-attack, you can shoot him. The strat is kind of simple. Now you can shoot him, but he'll recover in a bit, so be careful. You can also shoot him as he gets up, so make sure I put a few shells in him. This animation is XX, B, A, AX, and it's the same every time. So you can actually mash the buttons and do it really quick. If you shoot him when he's on the ground, he will always counter-attack. So use that to condition him into getting the results you want. Then he goes for her. When as he kicks up, shoot him as he kicks up. Be careful of his spin kick, because there's no quick time event to dodge that. And now you want to try and get behind him while Sheva shoots him. Or get him to do the dash attack at you. What's he doing? Doing more of his dancing. Technically he's got his back to her there, but she can't hit him because this game's kind of shitty. There's the stun. Here's the recovery shots. Couple of shots on him. There's me getting a quick reload. He goes for her. She counters him perfectly. She doesn't always do that, guys. I've got millions of fails on this fight just because Sheva's atrocious. There's the combo for a second time. You might wonder why there's a rocket launcher on my back and I'm not using it. I couldn't hit him with it. He kept dodging it. I assume you've got to do it to him when he's weak, but I ended up just beating him the traditional way, so I save it for the next section. Because when we go to stab him with the needle, it does it first time, and it's normally on professional and veteran, he kicks you off. But because we did so much damage with the Hydra, he didn't do it, so he went down in 1, which is really rare, to me anyway, because I've never seen him not take more than 1 grab. But it's just because we beat him in. And then this is a fucking joke. Watch this is great. So I saw a speedrunner, I forget the guy's name, but he's amazing. I saw him do a section here where he pre-aims the grenade on the rock where you fall down, and he throws the grenade, and then he fires a rocket, and he ends the fight instantly. And it's amazing, and I couldn't do it. I only tried about 4 times. I couldn't do what he did. The guy's great. Full props to him learning whatever that trick is, but I couldn't replicate it on a few attempts, and I just thought, what's the point? But when it came to this, I took a few things from what he did. So he threw a grenade here to get extra damage on Wesker. So I throw 2 grenades there to get that extra damage on him. And then when I come up here, when he reveals his weak point, if you shoot the rocket and you hit it with the rocket, because of those 2 grenades, it kills him instantly before the fight begins. And if you just fire a rocket at him here, unless you hit like a super perfect sweet spot, it doesn't kill him. And I tried a bunch of times, guys, but for whatever reason, that got him good. And that's the end of my walkthrough. There's the achievement War Hero for beating it on professional. And there's the stats for that final fight. All those deaths were against... There was about 5 deaths, maybe 6 at that beginning part. And the rest were against Wesker 1. Because Sheva and myself, we just could not keep standing during that fight. It was hilarious. But that's it, guys. That is the end of a game that you'll never need a walkthrough for because you blew everything up with a rocket launcher. But it was a fun ride. I hope you enjoyed it. And sit tight for the new releases that are to come in August and September. And until then, look forward to Uncharted 3 on Brutal, some other surprise projects, and just a lot of fun things coming to the channel. So you take care now.